This morning, I have the honor of recognizing someone who has made a huge contribution to our community. But actually, I think I had to put an asterisk on that because I said someone. I think it's really some buddies because I learned very early on in Tacoma Park that when you work with Terry Seamens, you also get Joyce Seamens, and their contribution to our community over decades has been incredible. This year, Terry Seamens is retiring from the City Council in Tacoma Park after over 20 years of service. He has been a remarkable person in our community. When I was mayor, he was mayor pro tem, and we got to sit next to each other for many long meetings. And I just want to say Terry is such a wonderful mentor, someone who deeply cares about our community, about how our community and our government functions to benefit members of our community. And through COVID, the first Trump administration, Terry was always a very steady hand, providing guidance to younger members of our council and also providing the assurance to members of our community that its leaders were there for them, whether it's for delivering food or making sure that we upheld our other policies in the city of Tacoma Park. And I know one of the things that Terry is very proud of is the work that he did over the years, over the decades, on policing, and to make sure that we have a police department that we are very proud of in the city of Tacoma Park. And so I would like now to turn it over to Mayor Searcy for a few words, and then I'll turn it over to Chief Duvall.
Good morning, everyone. Well, thank you so much, Council-elect President Stewart, for your kind words. But to just echo the sentiments, I am so grateful to have had during my first term as mayor. I'm still going to call you Councilmember Seamens. Serve as mayor pro tem. I think that as Councilmember Stewart mentioned, when you get Terry, you get Joyce. But I think one of the things that's really important to echo is their commitment just through public service in so many different mechanisms. If it isn't delivering food to many of our families in need in the city of Tacoma Park, it's putting together a summer camp for underprivileged youth in our community. It's having that helping hand and being that go-to person for so many people who have just felt isolated by the system. In many of our multifamily buildings, people of color who ultimately look for the government to help and don't often find that help there. And to know that when you walk into any building, everyone says, Mr. Terry and Miss Joyce, we know they got our backs. And so it is going to be so hard. It has been hard not having you by my side during the council meetings weekly, but I know that you are still doing your great work throughout the community in Tacoma Park, advocating on behalf of those that have the least among us, pushing to make sure our swimming pool continues to serve so many underprivileged youth in our community. So I just want to thank the entire county council for this proclamation today, because it is so important that the people on the local level are recognized at all levels of government, because it starts, the base is where you live. And so having people like Terry and Joyce to commit to our community has been just such a wonderful, wonderful privilege to have you serve. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Searcy. And now I'll ask Chief Duvall to say a few words.
Thank you very much. It is a tremendous. Oh, all right. All right. Let me turn this one up. It's a tremendous honor to be here to recognize Terry. Terry is an ambassador not only to the city, but our community in general. One of the main reasons Terry became a council member was because he saw things in our police department that were not consistent with the community of Tacoma Park. Through his 20 some odd years, it's been his goal to make sure that our police department was a guardian police department, one that worked with the community. We now have a police department that I'm proud to say is reflective of the demographics of the city of Tacoma Park, is a guardian police department. And a lot of that has to do because of Terry Seamens. Terry Seamens' efforts to be very clear on what the expectations were for our police department. I consider Terry not only a colleague, but a friend. I have never seen someone, he's always doing something for the community, whether or not it's giving out food, whether or not it's the summer camp, which was amazing, and he also involved the police department. Both he and Joyce are tremendous assets to not only Tacoma Park, but Montgomery County. They are one together, and I wish him the absolute best as he transfers or transitions into, I don't want to say retirement because there is no retirement for Terry, but the next stage of his life. So congratulations.
Thank you, Chief Duvall. And actually, when Mayor Searcy was talking, I was reminded of a day during COVID when it was really hot and we were delivering food and the elevators went down. And that was just a few years ago. And Terry's like, we got to deliver this food. Remember that, Joyce? And we carried boxes up. And it is that determination, that dedication of not giving up why we are recognizing you today. And we'd love to have you say a few words.
Thank you, President Stewart, for this recognition. And I'd just like to assure everyone here that I'm no longer a politician, so I won't be going on and on. There are so many people to thank, and of course, my wife is really the face of this team. But for some reason, I am here in front of the microphone today. But I thank the two mayors that I served with and also Chief Duvall for really helping to convert this city police department into the guardian police department that is what we would hope to see and across the nation, but definitely in a city like Tacoma Park with its progressive values. There are so many people I'd like to thank, and I'm not going to do that. I do want to thank my peeps in Ward 4 of Tacoma Park that supported me for so many years and voted for me to continue to help them. I thank you again for this honor.
Awesome. Thank you, Terry. All right, now I get to read the proclamation. All right, whereas Terry Seamens served as a Tacoma Park City Council member for Ward 4 for 23 years, having been first elected by his neighbors in 1999. And whereas as a council member, Terry Seamens was committed to intergovernmental cooperation, both in the greater DC area as a member of the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, Human Services, and Public Safety Policy Committee, and within the state of Maryland as an active member of the Maryland Municipal League. And whereas Terry and his wife Joyce are committed to doing as much good as they can for their community, including volunteering with Manna Food Center of Rockville and the Adventist Community Service of Greater Washington, advocating for the Piney Branch Pool and delivering food to those who need it most, among many other selfish acts. And whereas Councilmember Seamens was recognized for his tireless work and undying commitment to his community as he was inducted into the Maryland Municipal League Hall of Fame upon his 20th year of service in 2021, and whereas Terry Seamens truly represents the best of what local government can be as a devoted public servant who fights for those in need, constantly goes above and beyond any expectation, and always leads with compassion. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the County Council, Montgomery County, Maryland, here recognizes Terry and Joyce Seamens for his 23 dedicated years of public service to the city of Tacoma Park and Montgomery County, and congratulates him on his retirement, presented this day of December by myself and the entire County Council.